Thank you very much, moderator, for your introduction. My name is Mike Liu. Time is very limited, so let's get on to the point of this session. And this session is about the innovation, sci-tech development. There are altogether 4 topics for this discussion about the enterprises of innovation and the innovator, the systems and institutions for the innovations and scientific development, suggestions and ideas, and regulations and rules in terms of the talents of the data and in terms of the different factors, and what can we do to improve and what are the gaps that we have to fill in. And in terms of the opening up and innovation, how can channel be innovatively generating the new eco-environment friendly to the innovations in the future. So right now we are in the century-wise change, and the conflicts becoming more and more confronting with us. So how can we embark on the journey of green with a high-quality development, and what can we do to transform the journey with a more innovative manner? What are the guidance that we have to hold high? So we're very honored today to have the panelists for this session. We have invited Ms. Hou Xue, Deputy Division Chief of China Center for Information Industry Development, CCID. We would also have Professor Liu Dacheng, Vice President of the Internet Industry Research Institute of Tsinghua University. Welcome. The third one is Mr. Lu Yong, Global Vice President of CIFTIS Technologies. And Ms. Pei Ailing, Vice President of Greater China SAP. Ms. Shang Rong, Vice President of Communications and Corporate Affairs of Microsoft Asia Pacific R&D Group. Welcome. Professor Tang Jianguo, Deputy Director of Beijing Big Data Center, Senior Director of the Department of Data Application Industry at the Beijing Municipal Bureau of Economy and Information Technology. Xu Hongcai, Deputy Director of Economic Policy Commission, China Association of Policy Science, non-resident Senior Fellow of CCG. Mr. Tang Xiaorong from Qualcomm, Senior Vice President of Qualcomm. The last one is also a very important guest of the session. Ye Xiaofeng, Mr. Ye Xiaofeng, Vice President of Agricultural and Industrial Biosolutions of Novo Zims, China, specialized in the R&D of main Zims. So these are the topics that we are very interested in, and each one of you would have no more than 5 minutes to share with us your viewpoints. When the time is almost running out, then I will remind you. And then if we still have time before the schedule, then I'd like to wrap up a little bit on the viewpoints and highlights of the discussion for the session. So I'd like to invite Ms. Hou as the first speaker. Thank you, Chair. Dear guests and entrepreneurs, good afternoon. I'm with CCID of MIT, and I'm very happy to have this opportunity to gather with all of you. And so this is an alphabetic number. Yes, I didn't expect I'm the number 1 to address the session, so I'd like to be the first one, but only share with you some very preliminary viewpoints of the session. And I personally think that innovation right now is not only a solo play by a single player. It is actually a conglomeration of the different players on the same stage. Innovation, especially when we are developing bi-circular pattern of the economic development, the innovation in open-up manner has a special meaning. I'd like to touch upon two viewpoints on this aspect. The first one is that I'd like to talk about the trends of the global innovation. Right now, the new round of sci-tech revolution and industrialization, there is a restructuring in an in-depth manner on the structures of the sci-tech innovations. And we are seeing a lot of changes of the paradigm featuring four aspects on the changes. The first one is big data, IoT, and a large model are explosively developed. And this development and changes would pose a great disruptive or tremendous push for the future development. Of course, these trends are still on the way. In the next 5 to 10 years, the disruptive changes will come into being. Second, data had become the production factors and strategic assets for the production and consumption. The request for and the reliance on data is very high right now. The third one is that the international paradigm has been somehow reshaped. We're on the way of reshaping. The oriental innovation in the eastern part of the world is becoming more and more promising. In the world, we can see more and more trends of the pivotals of innovation coming towards or tilting towards east. So I think sci-tech paradigm has been shaped from 1.0 version all the way to generation 3.0. So what is the 1.0? What is the 3.0 generation? Sci-tech innovation 1.0 refers to the internal innovation within a certain organization. 2.0 innovation refers to the collaboration in an open manner between the different stakeholders, including the research, academic research, and industry and the government. 3.0 refers to following the biological trends by opening up all the resources as the features for the innovation in the future as a paradigm. So for the global innovation shift, this is my viewpoint. And the second is about the open eco environment, the status quo of China in the eco environment shift. First of all, for CCID, we are specialized on the think tech research for information technology. So for China, we have some forecast for the industry and information. About the strategies making for industry and information featuring Chinese characteristics, we not only look at the local development, we also look at the features of the international communications, as well as the eco environment featuring the international cooperation and exchanges. 160 plus regions have been cooperating with us. And we are participating into a lot of multilateral organizations and institutions with a common vision of a community with a shared future of human beings. We are pushing forward the visions to be realized for the benefits of all human beings, especially in terms of the international cooperation on sci-tech innovation. We've done a lot. And for many years, we've been always sharing the findings of the innovation, especially with the BRI countries and regions through the joint laboratories and joint public affairs arrangement. We share the achievements altogether. Secondly, China also dedicated on the effective and flexible encouragement of the findings and products of the sci-tech innovation outside of China. And we also participate into the common and the joint innovations of the international collaboration on sci-tech innovations so as to formulate the common governance of the world. So About the key topics, or am I going to talk all of or cover all of these topics you proposed just now, or just to pick one or two? Well, this is a very good question. Because the time is so limited, only 5 minutes. We have to be stringently control the time, but your viewpoints has been expressed very well because you're number one speaker talking about the generation 3.0, talking about the resource allocation and collaboration and innovation. You have only 1 minute left, so please share with us only highlights. Thank you. I personally been specialized in research on big data. Innovation is always the factor pursued by enterprises. 10,000 specialized SMEs. We are looking at the figure and the data from them. We are looking for the common features and also the common areas of these sectors or of these companies, so as to look for the spot of growth in the future. In terms of the potential, the chip and wind power, satellite and application of the innovations are the most innovative area. In the future, these sectors probably would enjoy disruptive innovations and all the way transformed itself from the only very segmental industry into the backbone industry to China's economy. Thank you very much. Ms. Ho, you are the first speaker, but share with us limitless topics, which is very critical insights, and also the time controlled by you is very well. Next, I'd like to invite Vice President of Internet Industry Research Institute of Tsinghua University, Professor Liu Dacheng. And what is your view on the current status quo of the eco-environment of innovation? Thank you. I've coming from a university talking about innovation of a sci-tech. Personally, I'm a researcher. In 2002 and 2003, I was a professor teaching in Germany, and after that, I was teaching for 8 years in US. And right now, I am in Tsinghua University. So, in terms of the education aspect, I'd like to share with you some viewpoints about innovation. Previously, we've been talking about the innovation, and innovation in education, especially in universities, has come ahead of others. But now, the innovation mainly focuses on enterprises. So what has been changed? Economist Gregory Kropp used to say that tens of thousands of years of the agricultural sector, actually society has encountered only one revolution. That is the Industrial Revolution. And the number one innovation came only from UK. It does not conform to the science, but come from the society. And I was in North Main State. And the first industrial park came from Luo industrial area. And after that, Siemens innovate a lot. In 1885, Germany has been surpassed by United States. And Professor Fanny Mapps said that the revolution had came into be reshaping the world, and after that, the United States replaced Germany as number one innovation country in this world. So Germany is the founding father of the revolution on innovation ahead of United States. And most of the conflicts of the developed countries are on the patent and the so-called the subsidies on the agricultural products. So innovation is just a matter of the few people leading the majority of the people. In fact, when we are trying to verify this fact, we can see a lot of changes coming to being. Professor Gregory Clark talking about the extension of the power of human beings, and now we're talking about the extension of the wisdoms of the human beings. And Elon Musk have developed 20,000 lines of the data just for one figure to be verified. And all of this has to be done according to the rules and norms. And the consumption of the hardware is very high, especially the computing power has to be guaranteed by a huge amount of the hardware. So all of the valuable programmers are pulled together, 20,000 lines of the data are not enough, never enough. So in the future, the change from the world will be demonstrated by two trends. The first one is climate. In the past, we can see that the Secretary General of UN has mentioned that right now we are in an era that we have to consume a lot. And in China, we have experienced 5,000 years of history. And many, many years ago, we are featuring the agricultural production of paddy rice and barley. And that is a reversible trend. And the second reversal trend is digitalization. What it can bring to us, informationization, tackle the conflict, and the connection of the man and machine. But now we can tackle the connection of man to man, and also in the future as robot to robot.
So the world is changing. In the past, it was process-driven. 60 years ago, now it's data-driven. Big model has brought huge changes, which changed the pathway of AI. So these trends have also left behind the Ukraine war and China-US conflict. So in the next generation of innovation, in the future, we know that the Bridgewater Chairman Ridario, every time we invited him here, he said that in 2028, China's economy will exceed the United States. Actually, I'm not that confident, but I want to just quote him. You know, already in terms of quantity, patents and papers, we are already #1 in the world. But when we will be #1 in terms of quality? I think we need to work on two things. First, we need to take a long-term approach, not just short gains. Second, we need to provide an open environment. Why Silicon Valley is growing so fast? Because 50% of the revenues come from the enterprises, and also part of it come from the innovators. But in China, those who have capitals and patents will have the final say. But in the past, in the agricultural era, land and labor are the best endowment. But with the development of industrial revolution, especially the geographical discovery, land no longer matters. Capital and labor prevail. But in 1957, after the Marshall Plan, we can see clearly that labor becomes not important. Now, the capital has been pursuing innovation and big data. So, starting from this year, if the founder is not an engineer, so I will not talk about it. So, you know, the Marxist theories become the government officials. They can do a good job. But today things are changing. The engineer students are actually making entrepreneurship. In the past, it was Zhang Chaoyang, but now things are changing. So the world is really changing. So, Mr. Liu, you have made very good points, but because of time, so I think you have made very important point. And later we will come back, because each one only have 5 minutes. I think whether it is history or science or innovation, I think you have expanded the boundary of our discussion. And later, probably, if we have time, we will bring you back so that you can complete your conclusions. And now, I would like to invite Louis Liu, Global Vice President of Cineverse Technologies, from the perspective of technology development. Mr. Liu, please. Thank you, Mr. Liu. I want to thank you all. Just now, I think Mr. Liu and the other speakers, they are from the universities and they take a very high perspective, but I'm from a small MNC. My company is headquartered in the United States. It is a technology company. It is also a MNC, but it's not very big. In China, we say specialized, sophisticated, special, and new. Probably we are just specialized. We are in wireless communication. We help the global mobile communication operators when achieving global roaming. They need the connectivity, and then we help them in terms of internet connection and the final settlement. So our company is really specialized. So mobile communication, international roaming. So this is also a new technology. And we also have some special R&D. And now we are all doing 5G. Soon there will be the international roaming of 5G. We are new, so it's been 30 years. Actually, my company has a history of about 30 years, starting from the international roaming. Mr. Liu just now talked about the main actors of innovation. I think he said that they are mainly companies. I want to say that when we talk about innovation, when in the companies, actually the market-driven innovation is an important part of open innovation. Innovation-driven high-quality development is something we talk about today. And we want a broader space, wider areas, and deeper and higher level innovation. So these 4 dimensions should include small companies like ours. We are small, but we are specialized. We are driven by market demand. So that involves regular daily innovation. That is also very important. In addition to opening, we are an MNC, but in Beijing, we also have 2 foreign invested companies. Globally, we have over just 1,000 employees, and in Beijing, in China, we have about 100 R&D people. The main purpose is to rely on the market demand in China. So in this specific international roaming area, there will be a lot of technological innovation demands. They mainly come from China. For example, the 5G roaming, globally in other parts of the world, the 5G network is not very widespread. So 5G network is really a market-driven or demand-driven thing. We need to do the innovation according to the market demand. About 5 or 6 years ago, when you went abroad, you had huge charges in terms of mobile communication services. So there were a lot of complaints about that. It could go so high. But now through innovations, you will never have such problems. Some so huge charges when you go abroad, no more. So the MNCs are addressing the specific demands. So such innovations, the demand-driven innovations, are actually part of the open innovation, such small scale, sophisticated, and specialized companies also need to bring such innovations to the rest of the world. So our innovations in China have enriched our ability to empower other parts of the world for international roaming. Mr. Lee, I'm sorry I have to interrupt you. I think you have given us a very good story. However, time is limited. I think you have given us something that is completely new, a niche market, MNC. You are using technology to do something big. So innovation is not necessarily done by a big company, but it is about building your competitiveness within a specific niche market. Okay, we will come back to you later if we have time. Thank you. You know, today's arrangements is very interesting. And now I'd like to give the floor to the representative from a big software company, Beijing Ling, Vice President of Greater China, SAP. So this is a very big German software company. What have you been doing in innovation? Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the invitation. So you have showered praises on us. Thank you. We are flattered. Oh, yes, we are the largest B2B global software service provider and computing service provider. Probably the B2C customers do not know us very well. I think most of us are company users. I think as such, you probably will know us. 94% of the Global 500 have been using SAP products. About 91% of the Global 2000 are using our products. And we have seen also more and more Chinese companies, they are also using our products. And in our daily contact with our customers, we have seen one thing. If this company has a huge demand for development, they need to look at SAP. You know, every year we have over 1,000 updates. It's not because of the bugs, but because of the changing laws and regulations globally. So all those 1,000 updates are made to adapt to the changes. So that is a way to adapt to regulatory and compliance requirements. For example, the EU requirements may affect thousands of companies, and a lot of companies, especially the export companies, are seeking SAP services in Taiwan, in Shanghai, and in Nanjing. And the government even want to buy our products as a kind of public services, so that the companies can be helped to achieve the carbon tariff of the EU. I want to talk about our methodologies, how SAP has been successful in the past 50 years. Each time we've faced the innovation. In China, we have over 6,000 employees, 4,500 are research and development people. I'm not in R&D, but every day in our meeting, we will consciously use design thinking to solve problems. And second, our company has been building the innovation culture. And the out layer is something we can see. So we provide solutions to the customers with applications. And second, technology innovation, for example, big data, mega universe, and blockchain. So we use such innovative technologies to see today's demand of the customers and tomorrow's demands. And actually, the most important things about the core innovation, subversive innovation, which are invisible, it is not related to our business today or tomorrow at SAP, but only when we make investment in these core R&D can we ensure that our products are sustainably innovative? And finally, I want to talk about the ecosystem. I think this is also a core of our roundtable. Innovation is a great thing, but the great things cannot be accomplished by one person. So SAP know this very well. We have hundreds of thousands of cooperation partners in China. We have over 1,000 partners in China. We work together with the partners for innovation, including our customers, our cooperation partners, the academia, for example, universities and industrial associations and government organizations and research organizations. And also, second, we have the .io. It's an incubator, and SAP has built the largest commercial network in the world. It's a B2B commercial network, so we use incubation to help the SMEs in China to embed their technologies in SAP, then into the largest commercial network in the world. Then their technology innovation will be commercialized as soon as possible. And third, talent development in China. We have been working for 30 years, and we have worked with over 3,000 universities for cooperation. We cultivated teachers and students, and every year we organize over 60 learning workshops, and every year over 10 million RMB yuan have been used for the students, which have benefited over 1 million students.
3-year actions. And that also go in line with the strategies of enhancing the talent specialized in digital technology. Yes, thank you very much. Vice President Pei, yes, your viewpoints from you is very critical, systematically speaking, and for the talent. So I'd like to invite that next speaker from software, Vice President Shang. Yes, SAP have been talking about the talents and the systems, and how about the Microsoft take on how to promote the innovations or the ecosystem featuring innovation. Thank you very much, Mike. Very happy and honor for me personally to attend the forum and at the session talking about the development of the new eco environment as well as the innovation for SciTech. The previous speakers has been touching upon the different aspects, and it is very inspiring, and I feel very excited. The room in the future will be very much spacious and a lot of in common with my viewpoints as well. So I'd like to be very brief. This year is the 25th anniversary of the Microsoft Asia Pacific R&D Group entering into China, and this is a kind of academy in terms of SciTech and technology innovation and talents nurturing group. In the past 25 years, we basically have made a lot of efforts nurturing the talents on the industrialization and the scientific innovation. So people nicknamed us as the Huangpu Academy of talents specialized in innovation and sci-tech. So we are very dedicated on the research and development, talents, education, and the nurturing. And then 25 years ago, we had the vision and put our efforts on nurturing the youngsters and entrepreneurs in China, and we feel that there is a greatly needed to have this environment, because just a bicycle distance for the talents away from the university. They graduated like Peking University and Tsinghua University, and that also has the shoulder-to-shoulder progress with the universities and industries. So just like Professor Liu mentioned, the agro-environment featuring the integration of industry, the universities or research institute as well as the governments. That is very important and critical for innovation to be nurtured even further. And the software actually many decades ago have refreshed its vision and the borders of innovation and the talents nurturing. It's very hard, and that is not something that could be done overnight, because it was just set up in 1975, a very young company, as Microsoft is. Right now we have ChatGPT, and why Microsoft has somehow stood up again, based on this research and development trend. So I think the question in front of us is how to make use of the technologies to empower the sectors and institutions. So the topic for us is to empower each one of the individuals in this earth and to offer there something to contribute to the progress of the society. And the things that matter most is at this era of the very deep merging of the different factors, the data and also the society. Not only the IT company can empower the progress of the society or make use of the technologies to empower the sectors. Each one of the sectors can be the sci-tech companies or sectors. This is a very booming era of innovation. So that is the biggest contribution of AI. Just like the previous rounds of the revolution, innovations being brought and get born. Out of this revolution, the efficiency of the production dramatically improved, and it's the same truth to this revolution as well. And each one of the organization and institution has to catch up with the change of the times. It is very critical to remember in Microsoft, the corporate culture of innovation is persistent. That is to keep learning and keep looking for the hotspot of next time. There is no answer that in front of you, and there is always outstanding answers out there. And just to keep learning and keep studying to look for the answer and refresh our understanding and the knowledge to keep up with the changing world to find out the innovation in a vertical manner. See, so ChatGPT, when the subscribers is more than 200 million, only takes like 2 months to have the subscriptions of 200 million. And that is too fast, and we have to keep up with this pace by learning and keep learning. This is a meaningful topic. The new trend of the innovation and the environmental innovation is featuring superb speed. Previously, we think 3 to 5 years is already fast, but right now it's just a glimpse of time. And now I'd like to emphasize one issue. Man and AI in the evolution process. There's one thing that could not be missed. The GPT technologies brings new things related with the security, privacy, and morality, and even factors and norms and rules at large. That is something as a responsible AI has to honor, and the regulations in this respect has to be stringent. And we have to be prudent on delineating the scope of this scope. That is responsible AI, to make sure that we can formulate the framework which is maximizing the transparency and morality to benefit the whole society at large. So when we are considering the changes and the revolution of the sci-tech, and its impact on the society, a better governance has to be put into place as a consequence. And the e-governance can be facilitated with this fresh idea, because not only looking for the speed of revolution or innovation, we're also looking for the equal reliability, equal to the superb speed of the innovation. And that is something that we have to consider. Thank you very much, Ms. Zhang. Not only you have considered the full scope of the Microsoft innovation, including ChatGPT, and you also mentioned a very more critical point, how to be more responsible in innovating the technologies. So later we will turn back to this topic of inviting more sharing from you. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite. Previously, we had the ideas from the multinationals, and right now we're going to invite Mr. Tang, Deputy Director of Beijing Big Data Center. 5 minutes. It is a really hard job as a moderator to control the time for each one of you, and the previous speakers control the time very well, so the floor is yours, Mr. Tang. Just to be brief. Yeah, the 4 topics from the moderator. The critical issue here is about the factors of the data. This is the work being done by Beijing right now. Following up the statement made by Secretary General Xi Jinping talking about the societal progresses being made has to be made based on the innovations. And right now, Beijing actually has made the very tremendously first step to develop the factor-based market. We have seen the landing of the different cases already, and we personally think that we have made the steps ahead of other cities in this country. The national government issued 24 measures. Ministry of Finance has issued the digital asset shortlist policies of the enterprises. So the asset owned companies or the data owned companies, how can they translate or convert this data asset into something real, beneficial to the society? That is the real question. And I can assure you that in Beijing today, we can help you. We are always available in opposition to help you, to assist you. We have the local policies from Beijing municipal government, and we have the policies to encourage the data development and the data asset conversion. And this is exactly the evidence of implementing the measures to set Beijing as the role model of the data-based developing city. And in 2021, the implementing measures and opinions have been put into place officially. And in the CIFTIS of that year, this statement has been confirmed. The factor of the data is the new productive factor aside from the property and the production factors in the agricultural production and so on and so forth. So we think that this is the market of the data asset, just like the land asset. What to register and who is supposed to appraise and price your asset? Is there any market on which the asset could be exchanged in an open and transparent environment? Do we have any financial institutions or the bank who can be willing to lend money to you? Does Beijing have the environment in which the data asset could be registered as the pledge to register a company? This could be done in China, and this could be done in Beijing specifically. And previously, we've held the International World Data Conference, and all of these policies being issued officially on that occasion. And we have the exchange for the data asset in Beijing. And this is a platform for exchange of data. This is at the hub of the market, and we authorize this exchange to register the socialized data based on a blockchain. And this is the first one. If you have, should you have any debate or conflicts, you can turn to this arbitration organizations as per requirement of the State Council and the Ministry of Finance. We set up 6 companies. The data assets have been appraised by the professional appraisers, and also the stamps are being given on the documents as a certificate for this data asset of the 6 companies. These accredited companies are being feedbacked very positively from the MOF. And this company called Jiahuan, and the data asset had been priced with 60 million. And before the 20th CPC Congress, look, Jiahuan's data asset has received 10 million RMB yuan as the lending with the data asset pledge. And there are many others, and it is very sensitive data, so I would not declare them to you. And the big data exchange, and we launched a lot of scenarios of exchanges, be it the virtual or the financial, and the best cases being formulated. And we are not exchanging the original data. It is the rights of the realization and the computing power of the data, as well as the technology based on the privacy, and the exchanges could be done. We created a lot of scenarios, very useful scenarios. And these are the actual evidence showing that we do have a prototype data factor market, laid the sort of foundation for the benchmark city of Beijing. Investing in Beijing originally is a matter of investment from the capital and the human capital, but now we are investing in data. We have a very sound system of the policies. So the multinationals with data asset, if you can mobilize and monetize the data, but you didn't know how to realize the monetization of your data, you could come to us. We will assist you to realize the monetization of your data assets. Thank you, Mr. Tang. Well, Mr. Tang had shared with us a really good example of how to monetize the data. Investment into data asset, only can we seize the opportunity of the digital transformation. With that, I'd like to invite another especially invited expert, Mr. Xu Hongcai, the Deputy Director of the Economic Policy Commission and the non-resident Senior Fellow of the CCG. So from the economic development trend, what is your take about the sci-tech eco-environment nurturing in China, in Beijing? Thank you very much for your introduction. So I think today's topic is about innovation and eco-environment for innovation. There are two aspects, internationally and domestically. So from the international aspect, I think we may feel very genuinely that the current international environment has been fundamentally changed between China and United States. The competition between each other has become more and more complicated, and the Secretary of the Commerce from the United States who came to China and is saying that the segregation actually exists. And there exists the delinking of the relation between China and U.S. It does exist in some aspects. And the global supply chain right now also have been hampered.
The United States is reshaping the global supply chain system and also the innovation system. The technology cooperation agreement has not been renewed after expiry. In the past 40 years, we renew it every 5 years, but now it has become a problem. China and the United States are big countries, so our innovation cooperation has seen some changes. This is one of the background circumstances. About 1,000 staff of the Stanford University wrote a joint letter to the National Security Council and President Biden of the United States to appeal for the renewal of this agreement. You know, the United States cannot just monopolize all technology innovations. In technology innovation, China is also leading the world in many areas. So such isolation has really politicized the trade activities with China. That can be bad for both sides. It is not good for future economic development. And from the perspective of China, we need to look at the market mechanism, which is playing an important role, and the companies as the main market actor or innovation actor, they have become more and more important. But on the other hand, the government's role is also very important and indispensable. In the past few decades, in our practices, we have also learned a lot from the successful cases as well as the failures. The megacities like Beijing and Shanghai have a lot of innovation resources, but the vitality for innovation cannot compare with Shenzhen or Hangzhou, which are new cities. So that means that the institutional problems are there. In the past, we talk about collaboration between university research and industry and academia. But actually, there are not many innovations coming out of companies from the universities. So TASTEC and Beidafangzheng and many other companies have went bankrupt. So it means there are problems here. So the market mechanism need to play a still role, but we need some factors that should work together to support it. And now we have launched the scientific innovation module of the stock market in Shanghai. But in the past year, it fell by 30%, led to huge losses on the part of individual investors. So we also need the good financial innovation mechanisms. So here we have the problem. In the future, how can we ensure that the market will play a decisive role, and the government also need to play a still role? So this is a permanent topic we need to work on continuously. So internationally speaking, innovation has been politicized a lot, and innovation cooperation and economic cooperation, which are balanced, these are restricted. So this is something we do not want to see. Second, in the current circumstances, do we have space for recovery or reversal? I think there is space for reversal. For example, the Qualcomm and many other MNCs which are present today, even if the United States has been launching the small yard, high wall strategy, actually they are still selective. Actually, the Washington's policies probably may not be totally the same as the Wall Street companies. There may be a lot of divergences. When the U.S. Commerce Secretary is here in China, some people say that she is speaking for the Huawei mobile phones. Actually, the chips of honor of Huawei are sold by Qualcomm, actually. Although it is a state-owned company, actually our normal business operations are still going smoothly. So it's not a simple one-size-fits-all cut. I don't think the conflicts are what we want. I think the private sector needs to exert its positive influence to catalyze the process in order to help the policy making to move in the right direction. I think that will also be good for the future innovation policy. From the domestic perspective, what can we do to ensure collaboration between universities and other actors? That is also something we need to do. Thank you. I think you have covered a lot, and you are also very specific too. I will follow your logic, and now I'd like to give the floor to Tang Jianguo from Qualcomm. No, I will give the floor to our representative from Qualcomm. Thank you. I'm very honored to be here at this roundtable and share my views. A few words about Qualcomm. It is also connected with the topic of this roundtable. It's about open innovation and ecosystem building. You know, Qualcomm in China is only for 30 years. Qualcomm is a familiar enterprise in mobile phone chips, and also advanced computing and peripheral AI are also the areas where we are expanding cooperation with our partners, and we are also expanding into IoT and automobile. We have been committed to high ratio of R&D expenditure, and now cumulatively it exceeded $85 billion. So that is huge investment for Qualcomm. This year is the 4th consecutive year for Qualcomm to be here at CIFTIS in high-end terminals and 5G equipment, etc. And these exhibits have point to the omnipresent of interconnectivity. We have made a lot of breakthroughs. For example, the first achievement of Mega Universe 5G application that all shows the advantage of Qualcomm in expanding into 5G businesses. So it also means that Qualcomm will have more space for development in China. We hope that we can work together with the partners to expand our market in China and globally to contribute to the digital transformation of China. Talking about open innovation and ecosystem development, actually, Qualcomm development is a good example of open innovation ecosystem building. As a globally leading semiconductor company, we have enabled our customers and partners to benefit from the scientific innovation outcomes and accelerate the industrial transformations. So we always say that only when our partners are successful can Qualcomm be truly successful. That also shows that China, that is also an example of our association with China. I also want to mention Beijing. And today we have the representatives from the Two Zones Office. You know, Beijing is always a base of our innovation and cooperation. We work together with Xiaomi, Zhongke Chuangda, and BOE for cooperation. And we work together for 5G and AI application in many areas. We have also been attending CIFTIS for exhibitions to demonstrate our outcomes with our partners. And every year, one of our highlights is the Made in China mobile phone family gathering. It brings together actually the mobile phone manufacturers with our chips, because each terminal really shows the special innovation of each factory. And last year, we also worked together with China Mobile and the Beijing Worker Stadium to promote the XR event experience plan to explore a smart worker stadium. And this year at our exhibition, for the first time, we achieved the 5G-based web page integration. That is a big breakthrough. So Qualcomm's development in China cannot be possible without the participation of our partners.
And I'd like to echo the line from Professor Liu, that we really highly value the encouragement and the policies from the government to us, because that can inject impetus for us to unleash our potential, played a very positive role. And especially I'd like to thank Beijing municipal government, especially in terms of optimizing the do business environment. Right now we are headquartered in Dongcheng district, highly valued by the government of the district. A lot of policies are also tilting in favor of us. And I think the optimization of the do business environment is something that we are also working on together with the government. We hope that the economic development and the digital economic development, both in the city and at the nation, can be contributed somehow by us. Thank you very much for your sharing, which is very informative. And Qualcomm, the industry and the partners Yes, we agree that Qualcomm is really good partner with us and with the government. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Ye Xiaofeng, which is the Vice President of Agriculture and Industrial Biosolutions of Novozymes, China. Thank you. So, Mr. Ye, you will be the last but not least, but still, you probably will be the person under the greatest pressure to make the speech. Yeah, thank you, Mike, and I'd like to thank CCG inviting us to be seated together to talk about the most interesting issue, innovation. This is a grand topic just now. The splendid cost of the speakers from the government, from the enterprises, have been talking about this issue from different aspects systematically, and a lot of us are coming from the IT sector and also the sci-tech companies. I'd like to frame my presentation from a different aspect, talking about the problems or the questions raised by the moderator in the first instance. As a biotechnical company, how can we be part of the eco environment for the innovation? So I think this is a really good topic to open my presentation. Innovation is in S-curve. If it is divided into three segments, the first one is the front end. That is the leading segment. Where should we invest in for innovation? The second is the stage for development of the innovation. How can we accelerate the innovation? The third segment is to a certain point of the innovation. How can we protect and conserve innovation or sustain the innovation? So right now in the first stage, that is how to lead the innovation. We have some upper hands. We have very clear strategies at the national level, at the industrial level, at the specific individual companies level. We have a sound and complete system of the regulations covering all sectors altogether. Besides, under which we also have a very clear direction of implementation and execution. This is the upper hand. But what is missing in here is that under the guidance of these three trends, how can we mobilize the factors and the forces from the market to align to these trends and to materialize this trend? How to regulate these new innovations? Different sectors and different industries have different features, but the priorities from the government will be somehow different. Different countries have different considerations and highlights, but the highlights have been had to be the guiding principle to lead the innovations. In the second stage, how to accelerate innovation. Upper hands are also numerous and also very big. I can give you an example, the advantages of the talents, of the systems and the market efficiency, and the efficiency of the conversion of the findings into something real. And there are some figures in 2025. It is estimated the talents PhD will be 2 times of that of the United States, about 70,000. This is clear advantages of talents. And second is the investment. In 2019, the investment on R&D is reaching 2.12 trillion, 2.23% of the GDP. That is also very big. Absolute number is big, but the percentage is relatively small. And it can be merged into the different sectors. And here, I'd like to highlight one issue. China's industrial chain is very complete. So this deployment of the industrial chain can help us to nurture the seamless and bottleneckless communications between the different sectors and the disciplines. It is a matter of the continuous investment. Looking around the world, a lot of enterprises are time-honored, like Microsoft and SAP, and so on and so forth. They are time-honored brands, very famous brands, and we're also willing to see a lot of brands like this in China. In the industry, in the sector, at the national level, we need to see more encouragement to nurture this kind of brands to be formulated, come into being, and encouraged. From the market aspect and from the legal aspect, what we hope is that we can create the environment for the virtuous circle of the different elements to flow and to interact. At the legal level, we also have to have a clear-cut and transparent dimension to encourage the fair competition, and also we have to encourage the fair competition and fair participation of all the participants. Yes, right now, we only have less than 7,000 employees, but we have some advantages in here. First of all the 13% of the revenues are put into innovation and R&D. Among the employees, so 7,000 employees, but we also had 7,000 plus patents at hand. So on average, one patent, one person. That also demonstrates the huge investment and commitment on R&D. From the corporate perspective, there are 4 bullet points. First one is the very clear strategy direction of the innovation. Actually, innovation could happen at any aspect, but the directions could be very numerous. But right now, the trend has to be tilting towards the greatest need of the society. As a biological technological company, there are 2 clear directions for innovation. First is that we want to improve the livelihood of the human beings. Biotechnologies, I'm sorry to remind you, so this is really a hard job as a moderator. And I have to remind you about the time. I think what you said is very good. Innovation is a matter of investment. And also I want to do something innovative starting from you. Each one of you would have 30 seconds to wrap up your feedback, like by summarizing the 4 viewpoints, your viewpoints. How about I will start from you, and you can have extra 30 seconds, starting from Mr. Ye, not in the alphabetic order, but backward. So as the customers, industries, and governments, what are the highlights that you'd like to share with us as wrap up? Thank you. Innovation requires clear direction. Innovation need to have partnership. We need to have the leading companies, the peers, cross sectors. Third, we have to focus on where we are to find out our advantages. And fourth, we have to be broadly participated into the development of the agro-environment based on laws and based on the regulations and market forces to nurture the virtuous development. Thank you very much. Yes, you have actually summarized the highlights already. I'd like to draw upon your highlights in my wrap-up. Next, Mr. Tang, 30 seconds. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to echo President Xi's statement in CIFTIS this time. CIFTIS will continuously play the role as an opening up, deepen the cooperation, leading innovation as a platform. And my company, for 4 years, continuously attending this platform. We are partnering with our partners in 5G, AI, to share our findings, which demonstrate our determination on opening up and the promises that we made on innovation at large. We're willing to join hands with our partners to explore both domestic and international market and contribute to the high-quality development and innovation of the society. Thank you, Mr. Tang. Next, Mr. Xu. 30 seconds. Please count down your time. 2 lines. Internationally speaking, we have to agree to disagree to develop inclusive and opening up environment. Domestically, the government and the market has to be positioned to rightly play their due role, jointly contribute to the building of the coordinative environment for innovation. Thank you, Mr. Xu. Mr. Tang. 30 seconds, please count down. Data factor reform would open the data new blue sea of the market. Beijing is always focused on the full opening up of data assets and markets, and we hope that all the enterprises can play its due role to explore this blue sea market. Thank you, Mr. Tang. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Zhang. Yes. From Microsoft perspective, the multinationals are the important part of innovation and agro-environment nurturing for innovation in China. We hope to continuously make efforts on sharing of the findings of innovation. Not only the agro-environment and the incubation of the technologies, the nurturing of the talents also equally important. So apart from the cooperation on the industry park, we hope that the infrastructure could be further developed and consolidated to encourage the inclusiveness of the society for failures and tolerating the failures of the findings so that the eco-environment can be more inclusive and tolerant. So, Madame Pei, innovation could not be separate from human beings, separate from the systems, institutions, or rule of law to guarantee. And we have a huge, tremendously beneficiary foundation in China to encourage innovation. So we feel very confident about the perspective of innovation in China. Next, Mr. Liu. I want to emphasize just one thing. Innovation is a matter of symbiosis and the coexistence of all the companies like us. Since we introduced the foreign invested companies, we've seen the importance of coexistence. And we deeply felt the importance of the coexistence for the nurturing of the eco-environment in favor of innovation. It is a matter of the exchanges of foreign and domestic resources. Next, Mr. Liu. Innovation should not be confined to pushing for excellence. Second, application-based innovation should be the focus. We have to tolerate errors and failures. And the government need to systematically provide guarantee and security. We have to continuously open up. Education should conform to the needs of the innovative talents. Thank you, Professor Liu and Madame Ho. From the think tank's perspective, high quality innovation, there are 3 bullet points. First, we have to focus on the niche company like the German and the US and the China's specialized SMEs. Second, we have to focus on the trends of the changes of the market, of the sectors, and we have to broaden our viewpoints and eyesights of innovation. It is the matter of the openness of our mentality and also openness of the environment. Thank you, Madame Ho. Although the job for me is so hard, because each one of you have a lot to offer, I'm sure, but due to time is very limited, as a very short wrap-up, the angle from the government, from the customers, from the industry, from the whole environment, we have to consider all of these things altogether. Second is that the direction, partners, the legal environment, and investment are all important as a guarantee for sustainable and stable development and innovation. And last but not least, I'd like to use a quote that is coexistence create beauty for all. As long as we are rooted in China, stay in China, for the world, innovation be more vibrant with vitality for the benefit of China and the world. Thank you. Sorry again for reminding you and warning you about the time. But still, I think this session is very excellent and exciting, full of information. We hope that the ideas from this session can offer some suggestions and enlightenment or considerations for our government. Thank you. Thank you all, and thank you.